Hello YouTubers, Tommy here with another episode of the Car Shop. And I'm pretty excited about this episode because I have stumbled upon an answer to a problem that many modelers have had. A lot of people lately have been buying these simulated wrapped lumber loads from Walters. They're a plastic lumber load. They're simulated plywood wrapped, and when you take them out of the package, many modelers are breaking the tabs just trying to remove the two halves from the package so you can place them on your rail cars. Well, I was watching a video from Derek Glass from DG Model Works, and he was doing a product review of this, and he was showing how these brand new simulated wrapped lumber loads were breaking upon taking them out of the package, trying to separate them to make use of them. So I wrote Derek and I said, recently I've been messing around with the rare earth neodymium magnets on my layout, investigating how I could use them to mount my backboards for a temporary installation. And I said, I want to play around with those and see if I have an answer to this issue. And he said, sounds good. Let me know how you make out. Well, this video is going to be dedicated to Derek and all my fellow modelers who have had this same issue with these Walters simulated kits. So let me turn this camera around. We'll get right to it. And I think I have an answer. Okay. So here we are, we're at the layout, and we have one of these Walters simulated wrapped lumber loads. And when you separate these, what you find is what used to be 3 pins, and they nest inside of one another, and the fit is so tight that these pins end up getting broken when you try to separate these halves. Well, what I did was I cut the center pin off. I then took my hobby knife and I scraped what was left of the nub after I cut it. And then I made a crosshairs in the center of where that mounting pin was. I used E6000 adhesive, and I glued a neodymium rare earth magnet in the center of those crosshairs, and I let it dry overnight. So now let me take this over to my bench, and I want to show you the next step, which is very important. Okay, so this was the very first one that I made. Now, the problem that you're going to have if you're not careful is these magnets, they will attract one another from inches away. They're very powerful. And if you don't mount them in the exact location, then your halves are going to not be square to your flat car. These magnets are going to self-center when they track to one another, and you have to be very careful that you get them in the same location. So the trick is to glue one half, let it sit overnight. Then you take the other half, you put a dab of E6000, flip it back to back, and you can see how strong they are. When you put them together like this, the magnets are going to self-center by using the table and using them back to back. You accomplish two things. You get the correct orientation of they're going to stick and not repel, and they're both going to be in identical location, half to half, because you've got this sitting on the table and you got the end flush, so that when you put this on the car, it's going to attract each other dead center where you need it. So, working with one hand, let me take this apart. We'll take it over to the layout. We'll mount it on our flat car, and I'll show you how this is going to work. Okay, I'll take the back side first, and we'll just set that into our flat car. There's one half on there. Now, what I am going to do, I was going to do it before this video here, and I didn't. Now that I got those magnets on there, and it's going to self-center, I no longer need these other two pins, because these things are just going to snap together on their own, and I don't have to worry about these centering pins. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave that one there. I'm going to just take and cut these two off before I put it on, and we're not going to need this anymore. This is going to be tricky. In fact, I'll turn the camera off. I'll cut this off and come right back. Okay, we're back. Okay, so I cut those other two pins off, so they're gone. I don't need to play with them anymore. Go back to the layout, and we take the other half of this lumber load, and I've got this guy upside down. Let me just turn that around. Okay, he's on, and I will later cut those pins off as well. All right, so here's the other half. Now you just get this where it needs to be. A little tricky doing this one hand, guys. Get this where it needs to be, and I'm going to make a liar out of me because I'm doing this with one hand. Okay, there it is. It's snapped in place. Now, look at how this holds. Look at this. The magnet is holding it in place, but yet you can still take it apart to remove it. Okay? The neodymium magnet is handling all the issue. So we'll put this back on. There's one half. Here's the other half. Again, trying to do this one-handed. A little tricky. There. Okay? It's mounted. Now, let me see if I can get this on the track with one hand. There we are. Okay? So it's all mounted. So now, let's take one of our locomotives, bring it out of the yard, hook it up, take it for a ride, and show you how nice the car rides just with the magnets. Okay? Throw power on to number 540. 540's there. The switch is thrown to come out of the yard. Let's roll on some throttle. Here we go. And we'll come up past our yard throat. Okay. I'll throw my switch back down into the yard, and we'll hook up. Change our direction, reverse. Come on back. Yeah, I'm real thrilled that this worked, because this is going to be the answer for a lot of guys that have had trouble with these Walters wrapped lumber loads. I'm gonna put this back in up here. You can see it's riding nice. The lumber loads are not going to come apart in transit and fall off the flat car. They're there. You don't have to fight with the mounting pins anymore, guys. We got it. Neodymium magnets. And as long as those guys are centered, when you put them together, your load is gonna always self-center nice. Okay? I'm gonna back up through the runaround and bring it back to the yard. Let's see, straight through. Throw this turn out. Okay, let's change this to reverse. And we'll run this right back to the yard. Working this one hand, a little tricky. There it is. Okay, so with that, I'm going to maybe just pull it forward again and show you how we can take the load back off the flat car using a toothpick. Let me unhook this little flat car here. Through that turnout. Okay, come on forward. Okay. Take our toothpick. Just put it in the very top here a little bit. Look at that, guys. You can take it back apart to unload your car without any problem. So the only thing I'm going to do now is I'll cut those other two pins off. I've proven you don't need them anymore. The magnet does all the trick. Now I do want to say that two of these magnets, one on each side, does work, but three works better. I've got three on here now. The back side, it has two that are doubled up, okay? And that just holds a little stronger, but yet I've shown with the toothpick you can still get them apart. But yet, now watch, you get these close enough and they snap together, see? And so that's the answer, is neodymium rare earth magnets. They're strong enough to attract, they hold the load, but yet you don't have to fight it to take the load back off the flat car. All right, guys, I'm just going to wrap this up, and I hope solves the problem to a lot of fellow model railroaders messing around with these Walthers simulated lumber loads. Okay, bye for now.